Thank you.
Deputy Minority Leader. The FCT School of Nursing, protocol, representatives of the Minister, the Permanent Secretary, FCT, all invited guests, and those that have shown interest on these bills, members of the press, you are all welcome. I'm Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District, and I'm sure the reason why distinguished Senator Philip Aduda announced himself as a co-sponsor, he's really the co-sponsor of this bill because he asked me, he delegated me to sponsor this bill. So I did this. My constituency is just neighboring the FCT. And majority of the students in the School of Nursing, FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery, my constituents happens to also be beneficiaries of this institution. So I felt it's an obligation on my part to also see that every legal instrument that this institution should have should be able to be presented before this Senate and before this National Assembly so that this bill will be enacted. The bill is to provide a legal framework for almost all the activities of the FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery. For over 40 years, I believe this institution has been existing without any framework, without any legislation. And because of that reason, they have not been able to be accommodated by funding institutions. They've also not been able to get accreditation for the graduates of this school to be recognized professionally. So, because of that, we felt it is very important to bring this legislation before the National Assembly to see that the needful is done. And I believe with the cooperation I had when I presented at the first and the second reading, which made this bill to scale through, I believe that all those interested and all those that will be given the opportunity to speak on behalf of the institution for the passage of this bill will also do the needful. There might be some gray areas that I wouldn't know, but I believe that by the time those speakers come on the podium, they will be able to highlight it for my colleagues to see reason why this bill must be passed. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we have all seen how important it is, the health institution. And I believe that this country still needs more of School of Nursing and Midwifery, more of health institutions. We cannot focus on anything economy and talking about infrastructures when we don't have a healthy populace. So I believe this is even more utmost for us to dedicate all we will do in terms of resources, in terms of legislation, to give this kind of institutions the desired legislation that will see them excel. On behalf of myself and the co-sponsor who sponsored this bill, I believe that it will receive overwhelming support. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the distinguished senator,
and chairman of the FCT House Committee, Senate Committee on FCT, distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari, the distinguished Senator, Deputy Vice Chairman of the FCT Committee of the Senate, the very distinguished members of the FCT Committee, my colleagues from the FCT Secretariat, the chairman of the area councils, His Royal Highness, the Honor of Abaji and chairman of the FCT Traditional Council, distinguished ladies and gentlemen and members of the First Estate of the Realm. It is indeed a great day to us in FCT that the two bills of the FCT are to be considered today. The first being a bill for an act to establish the Abuja Geographic Information Systems, and a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery and other related matters. When we received your notice of invitation to this presentation, it was with great excitement, and this rekindled our affirmation of the support of this honorable committee to the cause of successful administration of the FCT. May I, at this point, tender the unreserved apologies of the Honorable Minister, Malam Muhammad Musa Bello, and the Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Aliu Tijani, on their unavoidable absence at this presentation. The distinguished chairman, you will recall, sir, that the Honorable Minister had, by this letter of 23rd June, alerted you on his unavoidable absence for reasons that bordered on the need to comply with the mandatory COVID isolation period arising from his journey, unscheduled journey to Turkey. Since his return, he has been at home as an obedient citizen who never sees himself as above any law or regulations of government. He sincerely sent his apologies. Because of the long list of presentations that we are expecting today, I will go straight to each of the bills. We have submitted 30 copies of our input to the Honorable Committee. And without wasting time, the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing, the Federal Capital Territory Administration wants to express its total and unalloyed support for the idea of the proposed bill. And we want to, in this instance, particularly express our gratitude to the sponsor and co-sponsors of the bill, Senator Mohammed Sani Musa and our own Senator Philip Tenimu Aduda for this great job. We believe that the establishment of this bill or the passage of this bill into law will go a long way to address very critical challenges that have been confronting the institutions. As highlighted by Senator Musa, he mentioned that the passage of the bill will facilitate will make it possible for the school to secure accreditation. Sincerely, the non-existence of an act for the school has till date delayed this accreditation. Secondly, the act will also open the institution to support by multilateral and bilateral agencies, and further strengthen the capacity of the school to train many more and provide support to students and provide the requisite manpower to run both our major hospitals and also to implement the primary healthcare facilities. Therefore, the FCT College of Nursing and Midwifery will no doubt create the avenue for and standardize the courses of study, training, research, and continuing education in nursing and midwifery for the residents of the FCT and its environs, which will in turn boost manpower development for the health sector of the FCT. There is no doubt that an enabling law is necessary for effective and efficient operation of the college. It is in the light of the above that the FCT administration aligns itself with this cause being championed by distinguished Senator Musa Mohammed Sani. From paragraph 3 of our submission, we highlight a certain number of observations that we have. With the permission of distinguished chairman, I may want to run through these observations quickly. In section 5, it has been proposed that the chairman should be a professional, nurse or midwife. But we have the view that a chairman of such an institution need not be a professional to facilitate cross-fertilization of ideas, because we believe that any person with requisite experience in this system could contribute meaningfully to the school. Therefore, we have proposed that section 5.2a should read, a part-time chairman who shall be a person of proven integrity to be appointed by the minister. Section 5.3, we propose that Secretary of Health and Human Services Secretariat, that is just an editorial, because in the course of the bill, we saw references to Secretary of Health and Human. So we felt there is need to standardize this so that it runs as Secretary of Health and Human Services Secretariat, or the acronym of HHSS be used. However, this will require that the interpretation section of the Act will define this. In section 5.3h, we requested the amendment to read Director of Finance and Administration in Health and Human Services Secretariat. In section 7, we propose that members of the council should be paid such allowances as may from time to time be determined by extant regulations, so that it's not subject to the whims and caprices of the school to approve allowances for themselves. It is quite a number of the review are basically editorial because of the depth of work already done by the distinguished senators. So, but in section 15.1, which is also a section that I want to highlight, is the appointment of provost. It is provided that the provost should always come from among the academic staff of the college. However, we wanted an addition to be made, because given the age of the school and the current capacity, there might not be, if in event there is no capable candidate from within, then the bill, when passed in, the act, when passed into law, should allow the appointment of a competent person from outside the school. This will also assist the college to bring in fresh ideas from other climes. Section 16.1, we propose that there shall be for the college a provost who shall be the chief accounting officer of the college, to be appointed by the minister on the recommendation of the council and not the other way around, because the bill has said to be appointed by the council and submitted for approval of the honorable minister. So we felt council will recommend to the honorable minister, who of necessity will be the visitor to the school as per the tradition in the academic sector. We also feel that in section 23, that mentions the head of works limited its experience or qualification to a director in civil engineering, to a person with qualification in civil engineering. We felt any of the major engineering capacities would do: civil, mechanical, electrical engineering, or their equivalent. We also observe that there is no reference in the schedule to the act, to the bill, of a quorum for the meeting of the governing council. In the absence of a quorum, it will make it difficult for the council to function with fairness and equity, and so that a few majority will not just constitute themselves into council and take decisions that may be challenging to the efficient administration of the council, of the school, of the college. Accordingly, we propose that quorum at meetings of the governing council shall consist of a chairman, or in the appropriate case, the person presiding and at the meeting, and 7 other members, because the council is a council comprising about 13 members. So such a number will ensure fair representation that will enable decisions taken to be fair and unbiased. Generally, we suggest that the bill should make provisions prohibiting exclusion or discrimination based on race, religion, gender, and so on. This is a standard practice in every legislation establishing an institution of this nature. We have carefully perused the bill and find it appropriate in drafting techniques, in nature, and processes. The idea, the intention of the distinguished senators in sponsoring the bill is indeed laudable, and we are highly indebted to you, sir. While thanking the distinguished Senate, we hope that our observations will be useful and instrumental to the effort of the Senate Committee on FCT in bringing out a final draft bill for this law. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, Malam